What's going on, guys? Car Review Guys here. My name is AJ, and this week we have the 2024 Hyundai Kona. This is the NLine. We are going to be doing the full review today. Next video, 5 things to love, 5 things to improve. Every vehicle, same treatment. We have had the week with this one. So let's start with the cinematic. Then we're going to go to the exterior stats, figures, stuff I think you guys would want to know. Then we're going to jump to the interior, take a look at that, and then we're going to be taking it on a drive. Thank you for over 20,000 subscribers. Thank each and every one of you. So without further ado, let's roll. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that cinematic. Now let's go ahead and start with some of the stats and figures. This 2024 Kona NLine has an inline 4-cylinder pushing 190 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. Transmission is an 8-speed automatic. Drivetrain can come in front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Our tester today is all-wheel drive. The curb weight is going to be around 3,500 pounds. Obviously a little bit lighter with front-wheel drive. I think it's around like the 3,300-ish mark for front-wheel drive. And with all that said, it's going to be pushing this from 0 to 60 in about roughly 8.5 seconds. Now, gas mileage on this all-wheel drive version, 24 city, 29 highway, combined average of around 26 mpg. Keep in mind, if you go with the front-wheel drive, you get about roughly 2 mpgs better. Gas tank is going to be around 13.2 gallons. Vehicle dimensions, touching on the overall length, you're around 14.4 feet, which is going to be great if you own like an RV that, you know, you have a hauler basically. This would fit in most of those, so you could take it on a trip if you wanted. Width is around 5.99 feet, and your ground clearance is around 8.3 inches. Now, pricing, SE trim level starts at around $24,250, which is the base model. Tester today, again, NLine, is around $33,695, and that is including the destination charge on this tester today. All right, I know you just saw the exterior, but let's point out some of the things you may or may not notice on camera. First off, LED headlamps. You can see these, the runner just kind of probably flickering. That's just the camera refresh rate versus the light. So in real life, it's obviously not doing that. You have plenty of aero going in to cool this vehicle. Not that, again, it can look deceivingly kind of quick, but as I just told you, 0 to 60 is not all that quick, obviously. So not that it really needs that, but nonetheless, it looks apart nonetheless. Now, looking at the wheels, I do really like the wheels. They look pretty good to me. And size-wise, you're looking at a 235, 45, 19. You'll also notice on the inline color arches, which is super nice. I wish every single model across the line had that because it does look good. On the door handle, keyless entry on the front, not on the rear. And then up here, you have like a little spoiler. Again, not that it's really functional, but it is all for looks, which is really what the NLine is. But it does look good. Now that we are back here, let's go ahead and pop the rear. See the rear view camera sitting right there. Now, there is a button just to the right of that. Pull up, it is not a power hatch. And then coming back here, there is a decent amount of room. I will put on the screen here the actual cubic feet. Before we jump inside, just wanted to point out, the driver side is where the fuel door is located. All right, I test every vehicle. Is it easy to get in or not? I am 5'9" if you are new to my channel. So let's step in here. Gotta duck just a little bit. It's not bad, but just a little bit. And then we're in. As far as stepping, not bad at all. Again, 8.3 inches roughly of ground clearance, so it's not like a massive step or anything. So I think just about anyone would be fine getting back here. If you're super tall, gonna be a little more difficult for you because the roof line's a little bit low and the seat kind of sits high because you can see ever so slightly over the driver's seat. Almost kind of like stadium seating, but not quite. It's pretty close though. All right, taking a look, you can see there's a net on the passenger seat, not on the driver's seat. You have your own air vents back here, 2 USB-Cs located right down there. And then these seats, honestly, are kind of like an Alcantara, basically. And then here in the middle, we do have a little center armrest with 2 cup holders. Let's step into the front now. Still have to duck just a little bit. It has a pretty low roof line overall, which makes it look a little bit better in my opinion. But the interior from previous generation is actually more spacious, or this is more spacious than the previous generation. So hopefully I wasn't playing that backwards and you understand what I'm getting at. So a little bit more room in this one. But yeah, so let's touch on some of the door materials here. Right where your elbow is, this is a little bit of a softer, almost kind of like rubberized, and then up here is actually softer, this whole piece, and then up here this is hard. You can probably hear that. Buttons, nothing really to write home about. Nonetheless, all of your unlocks and then all of your mirror controls. Over on the left, that's where your emergency brake is located, the electronic. Out in front of us, this is coming pretty standard for Hyundai products, and you have 2 screens just over 12 inches apiece. And you can even see like this little model here. So it's giving you the breakdown. My wife's Santa Fe has the same thing, and I really think it's cool. So those little bars are gonna show you where the power is going, and then you can see the wheels are even turned. So if I start to move this, right? So if I straighten it out, you can see it's straight. If I turn it, you can see them turn. So kind of cool, all the little things that they're doing. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and take a look at the steering wheel. Lane centering, Hyundai, Genesis, Kia, some of the best in the industry, if not the best. Adaptive cruise control, which is nice. All of your different menus, you can click here, change them up in front of you for whatever view you would prefer. And then over here, we have all of our different media controls. This is a scroll. This is similar to what Genesis has had for a while, the little scroll bar. That is actually pretty nice instead of a toggle or a button. Moving over just a little bit, I love that they're keeping the buttons, which is nice to physically do it. Dual zone climate, and then of course, touchscreen. See the responsiveness here as I touch it. Now let's touch on the camera. If I hit it, this one is only the backup camera, and they always have really good quality, nice and clear. Down below here, we do have a wireless charging pad, USB-C. This is your little light indicator right there, that little QI looking thing for the wireless charging pad, in case you didn't know. It does have heated seats, and then these are all your different drive modes. You just simply switch between them. Back, we've got 2 cup holders and then a bunch of open space for whatever you would like. Now, console, flip this open. It's definitely unique. It's all open under here, and then this is really the only thing. So kind of a different little center console. Haven't really seen anything like that before. And then up above, we do have our controls for the sunroof. You can simply press that back, and back it goes. Out on the mirror, you can see right there, blind spot monitoring as well. Taking a quick look at the seats, you can see you've got the N perforated there, and then looking down, you've got the little red stripes. Definitely looks pretty good, and again, like an Alcantara and like a leatherette, basically. Pretty good looking seats and pretty comfortable. Keep in mind, passenger seat is a manual adjust, while the driver, so my seat is a power seat, which is nice. At least the driver is power. So many vehicles that go after this stuff. Again, this car is made for looks. It's not like it's actually performance. So to me, there's no reason as to why you shouldn't have a power seat, because it's not like it's quick anyway. So the little bit of additional weight, not a big deal, but they would always seem to lose out on the power seat in the driver, and super nice that they do have it. I think it's time we get this NLine out on the road. So without further ado, let's roll. Getting the NLine out on the road, one of the first things that that I would say is it does feel more sporty, right? Like in the sense of like how it looks. Now, as far as like handling and suspension, and obviously again, engine wise, if you're looking for the actual performance, this is not the vehicle for you. If you're wanting the performance, it's just not. Now, again, if you want the looks, but you want a little bit better gas mileage and you just don't care about performance, this is probably the vehicle for you. The other important thing, again, that I would like to note is if you have an RV with a toy hauler, in most cases, this will fit. So this is a vehicle that would qualify to fit in the back, and you could take it on trips. So that also is like a bonus for anyone that wants that kind of thing. Now, let's talk how this thing drives. Tire noise, you can hear it a little bit, not bad. Engine noise, if you're getting on it, you can absolutely hear it. If you're just kind of coasting along, you don't really hear anything. Like it's nice and smooth, which is a good thing in my opinion. Wind noise, at higher speeds you can hear a little bit of wind, but again, it's not bad. Kind of like freeway speed, you're going to hear it just a little bit, so I'm not going to pretend like it's silent. It's not, but it's definitely acceptable in the price range, in my opinion. Let's test the all-wheel drive. Let's floor it. It's floored, going to the left. Okay, once it gets up in RPM, it's actually not bad. I mean, better than I expected, to be honest with you. And I think the all-wheel drive makes that difference, right? Because front-wheel drive, even though it's not a lot of power, it still just kind of spins, and this thing gets after it and actually gains traction, which is definitely good in my humble opinion. Let's talk blind spots very quickly. Over to the left, pillars not bad, no issues there. Over to the right, maybe like at the very rear, kind of like by the rear window, maybe just a little bit, but again, it's equipped with blind spot monitoring if you need it. We are coming up to the cattle guard, so we do it every week. Let's test it for suspension and noise. Here we go. Not bad. The suspension's better than I expected, especially for this price. That was definitely acceptable. As far as noise, again, tires are a little bit, you can hear them a little bit, so I would say, to me, that was average. It was nothing to write home about, but it was not bad. Again, got to touch on the lane centering. Lane centering, Hyundai, Kia Genesis, one of the best, if not the best. And the reason that I say that is because you can use it with or without cruise control set, which is big. The other thing to note is it just stays dead center of the lane. Like, it does such a good job. Again, always keep your hands on the wheel, blah, 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 blah. We know this, but if you're getting to drink water, it's safer. Anyway, I digress. On that topic though, adaptive cruise control, it works really well. You can also like play with some of the settings in there to how you would like it to accelerate, or whatever. If you leave it on normal, it's totally normal. It's pretty much what you or I would do in any normal situation. So always good and nice to have in this vehicle. Just touching on the seat, I do find it pretty comfortable. I do find a decent amount of support in the seat, and I do like, again, that the driver is power. I wish there was probably an option for the passenger seat to be power, because if I were in the market for this, I would definitely pay like $500 to upgrade to just have that simply. But unfortunately, not an option on this vehicle for this trim level, obviously. But yeah, that would be potentially nice to have as an option. So I kind of talked about the roofline being like a little bit low. For me, it is a little bit low. However, once you're in it, there's a ton of headspace. Again, I'm 5'9", and like I got just space for days in here. So once you're in, totally fine. It's just kind of like where the pillar is, and like while you're getting in, because like the seat, I have it all the way down, but it's just kind of like where it sits, it's a little bit higher. So nonetheless, very comfortable once you are in here, and it's really not that bad to get in. You just got to duck just a little bit, and again, coming from someone who's 5'9", so if you're taller, maybe. As far as bolsters in these seats, there are a little bit of bolsters, so if you're a lot bigger than me, then maybe it wouldn't be as comfortable, but there's definitely still some room, so you don't have to actually be my size to be comfortable in here, in my opinion. Hopefully you guys know by now, especially if you're not new to my channel, I always try to compare this apples to apples. Like, I'm not going to compare this to a vehicle that's $50,000, $60,000. I'm comparing this to other vehicles that are roughly $25,000 to $35,000. And that's kind of like where I keep my head at whenever I'm doing these reviews. So hopefully that portrays. And again, always try to be honest with you guys how these drive. The only other thing that I would probably change in here as far as driving wise would, again, somehow to get just a little bit more insulation for the tires, or maybe just a different tire, because again, like, this road is a very noisy road, so like I don't expect it to be real quiet, but just listen. Maybe you can hear it. I don't know. Again, it's not bad, it's very acceptable, but like with just a little bit more, like it would be literally at one of the top of my list for the price point. So it's very close, very good, and it's not a complaint, it's just a potential improvement for this vehicle. Okay, again, like I've said, not a performance vehicle, but we have a little S-turn coming up here. I just popped it into sport mode. Instantaneously, you can feel that it's like holding gears. So we're coming in. Let's test the brakes. Back end gets just a little bit light on this vehicle coming in. Okay, suspension's a little better than what I expected. Coming into this turn, braking, and again, this doesn't look impressive on camera, but I'm actually holding it. So, better than I expected. Again, this is the NLine, which is not gonna have all of the performance, but nonetheless, I was very happy with that, especially from a daily driver perspective. Probably a little better than average in my opinion. If there's anything else you guys wanna know, just comment down below. I'm happy to respond. I try to respond to every single person the best I can. Sometimes YouTube doesn't always pop it up or whatever. If I don't respond within probably a week, comment again, I'll try to get to you. And hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Next video, 5 things to love, 5 things to improve. New vehicle every single week. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.